Do you have song ideas everywhere? Half-written lyrics in your notes app, voice memos that you forgot existed, melodies that came to you in the car or at the gym or in the shower and they just disappeared before becoming something more. Maybe like many creatives, you're not lacking ideas. You are actually overwhelmed by them. Having ideas isn't the hard part. It's knowing what to do with them after they arrive. So in this episode, I'm walking you through a simple way to move your song ideas through the creative process so they stop piling up and start becoming songs. Welcome to Singer-Songwriter, a space to reconnect with your voice, your music, and the songs waiting to be written. I'm Lainey, singer and songwriter, voice and creativity coach. If you've ever dreamed of writing and singing your own songs, but doubt or perfectionism keeps getting in the way, then grab that notebook full of ideas. It's time to open your voice, trust your sound, and express yourself freely. Your songs are waiting. Let's bring them to life. Creative overflow can so easily lead to creative overwhelm. This is a feeling I know well. That feeling of trying to drink out of a fire hose, so much so that I just had to turn off the spigot. Have you ever felt that way? Like you have so many ideas, you don't know what to do with them all, and they just keep coming, so you just are like, I need some relief, and you turn it off, because it feels like too much. I know what it feels like to be so overwhelmed by your creativity that you shut it down. There was once a time I had so many unfinished songs that I stopped writing songs. I felt like I couldn't move on to the next one because look at all this unfinished stuff. I need to finish those first before I move on to new songs. So I stayed stuck in these unfinished pieces that maybe some of them were meant to be finished, but maybe not. Or some of them just felt like the old version of me, and so I couldn't finish them as that person anymore because I wasn't that person anymore. So anytime a fresh idea would try to pry its way into my consciousness, I would subconsciously be pushing it aside and telling it, I don't have room for you. I thought maybe I was lacking discipline and something was wrong with me because I never could finish anything. Or maybe my brain is just too scattered for this kind of work. Maybe I'm not cut out for this. Maybe I'm not good enough, organized enough, productive enough, focused enough. But somewhere along the way, I started realizing that the problem wasn't having too many ideas. We are creatives, we are artists, so we have the gift of ideas. That's not a problem. The problem was in moving through the creative process, moving ideas into the next step, the next phase, the next stage, creating a system for those ideas to flow from one stage to the next. Ideas were arriving, but they had nowhere to go after that. Have you ever felt this way? Feeling just creatively scattered, like you have all these ideas, but no clear way to actually turn them into finished songs. I feel you. I've been there. And I can tell you from the other side of it, there is a way to create a songwriting workflow that fits you. And this is something that I can help you with. You don't have to try to sort through it alone. In my 1-hour vocal breakthrough sessions, we look at your creative process as a whole. Your voice, your songwriting, your habits, your creative blocks that creep up and throw a wrench in the gears every time. We sift through all of these things that are impeding your creative flow and your singing and your songwriting. And we create a workflow that fits you. Because maybe it's not that you need more ideas. Maybe you just need a way to move through the ones you already have. Let me help you. Go to reawakenyourvoice.com/coaching and you can book a private one-on-one session with me where you can get personalized support with this. You don't have to keep drowning in all of your ideas and thinking that something's wrong with you because you don't know what to do with them. Book a session with me and we can work through this together. reawakenyourvoice.com/coaching. So today I want to walk you through what to do when inspiration strikes, why ideas get lost or forgotten, how to create one home for your songwriting, and how to move ideas through the different stages of the creative process. So first of all, let's talk about when ideas arrive. We're moving through our day, or maybe we are sitting down to write intentionally. But something comes through that feels alive, feels like it could become something, or has that emotional pull that we know there's more to it if we can just open it up. When that spark of inspiration hits, what do you do? Where do you capture that idea? For me, it depends on what I'm doing or where I am, but sometimes I'll capture ideas in the Notes app on my phone. Sometimes I will jot them down in like a songwriting notebook, a journal. Sometimes it's like a scrap of paper or some random place because that's what's in front of me at the time. But here is the key. These are capture tools. These are not the places where our ideas live. They cannot remain in these scattered places, digital places, physical, paper. When we first receive that download, we get the idea for a song. Yes, we need to capture it and remember it. So sometimes I'll sing it into the voice memos on my phone if it's a melody, or if the lyrics come to me in a melodic line, I'll record it really quickly. But this is just the way to gather your ideas. I used to think this is my system. This is where my ideas live. But these are simply temporary holding places. Temporary, meaning, okay, now I'll remember it, but then what? Your Notes app is not your songwriting practice. That's just where the ideas land, or wherever it is for you. And that can be in different places. I understand that and fully use these different ways different tools we have available to us in this day and age. But they need to move. These ideas are alive. So they cannot become stagnant in this holding place. They need to move. These ideas need to move into one creative home. And this is where I used to stop, and many people stop. You capture the ideas, but then you never revisit them intentionally. Like, I know I can go back through old notebooks, old journals, and flip through page by page, and I know I could find so many juicy song lyrics, song ideas, little bits of song beginnings. I know they are there because I used to just write them in my everyday journal, mixed in with all the other stuff I would be writing. And they would get lost. So I have no shortage of ideas. I've got a backlog I can always go to. But nowadays I have changed my approach so that things don't get lost, so that things don't get forgotten, so that you can return to them intentionally during your songwriting practice, your creative practice time, whatever that looks like for you. But you need one reliable place where your ideas live. So for me, that is in my Google Docs, I have a folder named My Songs. And of course, within that folder, I've got other folders, and we can talk about that a little bit later. But this isn't really about folders. It's not about organization. It's about workflow. What do you do first? And then what? What's next? How does it move? There's a movement to it. There's a flow to it. It has life. We do call it creative flow, after all. But it's not even about the Google Docs, because I am looking at how I can shift this same system into MeisterTask, kind of working on a workflow there. So I'll keep you updated as I continue working with this. But what it is about, not folders, not organization, not a specific software or, tool. This is about how you move through the creative process from one phase of it to the next, and recognizing along the way which phase you're in. But what's most important here is that I have one place that all of these ideas eventually end up. And it's this folder called My Songs. Maybe for you, it's a songwriting notebook, one specific songwriting notebook. Maybe for you, it's a folder or a document, some kind of creative database. But they need one home to live in because they are alive. They are in progress, in motion, in the creative process. And when these ideas that are alive live in 10 different places, they disappear. You forget about them, and your creativity starts to feel really fragmented, scattered, overwhelming, right? So your creativity needs somewhere to return to. And those ideas may be in all kinds of different phases, different stages of the creative process. So as a whole, they may feel all unfinished, and that leads to the overwhelm. It feels overwhelming when you have all these ideas, but they're in different phases. Some of them it's just like one word or one line. Some maybe you have a full chorus or a couple verses, but no chorus. You don't know what the theme really is yet. the point is that not all ideas are in the same phase. But when you can break it down into these different phases, then you can start to see the bigger picture. So let me share with you a system that I have been working with that may give you some ideas and an example of just what this can look like when you have one home for your ideas, your song ideas, and within that home, you break it down into different phases so you can see where you are with each idea and what it needs from you. And even more than that, it helps you see what you've already done. See the progress that you've already made. That can be really encouraging. So within my songs folder, my songs, the home where everything lives, I have these folders that break down each phase of my process. Now, I mentioned this system in a previous episode recently. 102, the 3 phases of writing a song. So I've mentioned this in there, but I want to offer it here as an example and give you a little bit more detail. So first of all, I have song seeds. And for me, song seeds are small beginnings of something that feels like it has energy, like it has life to it. Something that I just gathered, collected along the way. Next comes the messy middle. And this is the songs that I'm actively developing. Like, I don't think messy middle needs much of a description, or an explanation, but you are wrestling with this song, trying to figure out what it even is or how to say what you want to say. You don't even know what it will become or if it's going to become a finished song. You're just like in that messy middle where it feels like you are in the wilderness, in the unknown, blindly hacking your way through the jungle with a machete. The messy middle. Next, I have one song. This one is my current focus. So I'm typically focusing on one song per week. And, after that week, either it's something I need to practice or something I'm ready to record, or maybe it goes back to the messy middle because I'm still in it. Then I have a folder called Practice These. These are songs that I revisit that I'm like, these are pretty much done, but I want to practice them and refine them and get them in my voice, like really feel them in my body, feel them in my voice. And through that, just singing through them, there's some refining happening. Then there's a folder called Ready to Record. And these are almost complete. Like these are as close to complete as I can get before actually recording. Because what I've learned through the recording process is that those moments in the studio can deeply impact a song. You finally have a moment that clicks, or maybe there's a spontaneous change that you make just at that very second. It just comes out spontaneously. There is a certain aliveness in the studio that can bring a song full circle and tie a nice little bow on it, and you didn't even try. It just showed up for you. So yes, ready to record, but it's not in that finished songs category until it really is recorded. And then, of course, there's always the opportunity or possibility for recording a different version of the song, recording a version with other instruments, and, collaborating with people. We can go on, right? But this song feels complete. So one more time, here are my folders. 1, song seeds. 2, messy middle. 3, one song. 4, practice these. 5, ready to record. And 6, finished songs. Now, I share this as an example because I know you will have your own way of thinking about this, and you will find a system that works for you based on, how your brain works. But these are the names that I've given to these different phases of the process for me, because that's what resonates with me. So personally, it helps me to have an example, and then I can work with that to tweak it and make it my own and align it with my needs. And honestly, this system, I kind of figured this out by reverse engineering the system that I use for recording this podcast. And I also got this idea from perhaps a very relatable problem. And that is what to do with all the mail that arrives at your house. Because you've got like junk mail mixed with really important stuff that you need to do something about, so it can pile up day after day after day if you don't have a system for moving it into different places, file cabinets. So I saw this in other parts of my life and realized, oh, this is what I'm missing. This is what I'm missing. It's let me say this. This is not about being organized. It's about helping your ideas move through the process. Because I am not naturally an organized person. I love to be. I can be. But it's not natural. It's something that I really work at. So ideas, kind of like all the mail that comes to your house, comes to your mailbox, they can feel really overwhelming when they all live in the same pile. They just keep stacking up on the dining room table day after day after day until you're like, wait, where did that vehicle registration renewal form go that I need like right now? Oh, it's mixed in there with the gutter cleaning advertisements and the coupons for someplace I never shop at. And the wedding invitation that I've got to RSVP to, all these things pile up and it's so overwhelming that you want to just take that stack and shove it in a closet. Ideas feel really overwhelming when they start to pile up. And then you turn off the spigot because you can't handle it. And then suddenly years go by and you haven't done that thing that really matters to you. And your voice is getting rusty and your songs are getting dusty. And your creativity feels dormant. This is what can happen. But if you remember that the tools you use to capture your ideas are only temporary holding places. And if you create a home to move them into, and if you can identify which phase they are in, then you can begin to not only sort through the ideas that you have, but turn them into finished songs. And this is really important. Not every idea is meant to become a song. Some ideas are for practice. They are for exploration. Maybe you need an emotional release. Maybe some are like stepping stones to the really good idea that does become a song. And maybe some of these will remain unfinished forever. And that's okay too. These ideas, some of them become songs, but some of them are just helping you to become the songwriter. They are helping you hone your craft, refine your skills, and just get better at what you do. And enjoy the process. So your ideas just need a path. So here's something that you can try today. Choose one place where your songwriting will live. Kind of like my songs in my Google Docs. What is that for you? Because this is where the songs live. They are moving through the creative process. This is not where the ideas land. You see how that's separate? Like your ideas land in your notes app, your notebook, your journal, scraps of paper. That's okay for them to land in all these different places, but then they need a place to live because they need a place to grow, to put down roots and stretch and rise. Choose one place where your songwriting will live. Not where the ideas land, but where they grow. These are little seeds we're talking about, right? So where will you plant those seeds? How will you see that they get nurtured? Then spend 10 minutes moving old ideas into it and see how that feels. If you want help creating a songwriting process that actually works for your brain and your creativity, we can explore that together. That's what my vocal breakthrough sessions are for. I help singer-songwriters move through the overwhelm and reconnect to their ideas and build a creative practice that feels sustainable for where you are in your life now. You can learn more and book a session at reawakenyourvoice.com/coaching. So just remember, your creativity, it isn't messy because you're doing it wrong. Like, this is the creative process. It does feel messy because it is. It is. It's so many things all at once. But it's messy because it's alive. It is alive. It is living, breathing, moving. You just need a way to help it move through the phases of the creative process. And capturing those ideas, gathering those ideas, collecting those ideas is only the beginning. What comes next is what makes the artist. What comes next is what turns song ideas into finished songs. Thanks for listening, friend. If this episode moved you or inspired you in some way, would you please leave a review on Apple Podcasts or share this episode with someone who's been praying for a vocal breakthrough? Until next time, keep nurturing that song in your heart. Lots of love.